The force of positivity. Take one.
Nice, you're good at this. All right. Hey, Angela, happy Star Wars Day.
Isn't it a fabulous day? Everyone in the galaxy is celebrating.
I said Star Wars Day, not Star Trek Day.
Well, I'm going boldly into this episode with my own galactic uniform.
All right, well, I think we'll talk about this a little bit more later. So, Angela,
Any chance I have to wear this outfit, I'm wearing it.
and what's our episode today?
The force of positivity.
All right, and just so you know, we're recording this on Star Wars Day.
May the 4th
I
be
think
with you.
you're seeing it a little bit later, but that's when we're recording it. And this has been a great week, especially for a Star Wars fan like me.
It's been a very Star Warsy week.
It has been. I had to tell them about that surprise you gave me Friday.
Well, our Star Warsy week started on Tuesday.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Tuesday we went to see episode 3 in the theaters again. And I'm like, I think I saw it originally. Like, I don't know what. But then I'm like, I think I might have missed it for some reason. So
I saw the whole thing on when we were watching Clone Wars. When Xavier and I watched the cartoon. And that's where I saw Anakin go dark side. I didn't know he was such a bad hombre.
Oh yeah, and I think they kind of toned it down a little bit.
I didn't know he lightsabered the younglings.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Because first he was going to do the thing because the bad guy with the dark hood told him, I will save your wife.
Yeah, and he's like,
okay, to save my babies, I will be on your team. To save my wife's life, yeah. So you're like, yeah. But it was beyond that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get in a Star Wars movie discussion because there's a whole universe that I'm not like.
I'm going to show you the Obi-Wan series. You'll really see.
You know what?
Vader.
By the way, hi.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Like, there is a Star Wars poster up on the wall.
And is that an original 1977 movie poster?
It is. So, there's a story behind that poster.
It doesn't even say Sir Alec Guinness. It says Alec Guinness.
Yeah, and so this is like, I found out they added episode 4. They re-showed it in 1981.
They did, at the theater.
But, so I'm just this regular, unassuming guy. You know, I went to Dallas and I met this, like, gorgeous, like, blonde. And she hugged me and we talked and texted. And, you know, I'm like, I think she might like me. This is going pretty good. And she tells me she sent me a birthday present. It was in August. And she's like, I think you're going to like it. So I get this long tube thing. I'm like, what is this? It already sent me some mini, like, Doritos and things. Yeah, that too right there. And I'm like,
is it a lightsaber? You thought it was a lightsaber, didn't you?
Maybe, yeah, I think so. Anyway, I get somebody to help me open it. This thing's huge. She opens it, and I'm like, that's a Star Wars poster. And I'm like, looking it up, like, that's an original 1977 Star Wars poster? And I start, like, hyperventilating. I'm like, oh, man, she likes me.
Well,
this is theory.
Yes, but to be honest, obviously it didn't have the value to me as it would have to you and another Jedi master.
Should we just... I don't like that you keep getting cut off the camera.
Well, I moved, so...
Yes. If you're watching this, it's just trying to get all situated. Gotta get my favorite Trekkie.
Well, I had to get the tube. Anyway, it didn't have the same value for me, to be honest. Not that I wasn't like, but I was very excited to send it to you. I'm like, he's gonna love this. This is a really cool poster. He's gonna love this.
Well, you told me it had been on your wall, so I'm like, as a child, like, she gave me a Star Wars poster that had been on her wall since she was.
You know, it was either that or the New Kids on the Block poster from 1989. I don't think that would have had the same effect.
You chose wisely. I'd be like, The heck? Oh, great.
Although, fun fact, Jordan on that poster's got the little braid. He may have been a Jedi in
Oh,
training.
he's a Padawan.
I guess he was.
Well, there we go. That's right. And so I think you have figured out by now what we're talking about. And
I don't know what we're talking about.
the force of positivity.
The force of positivity, because we are life on positivity. And it's better when you live your life on positivity than negativity.
Yeah, and maybe for you Star Trek, you Trekkies out there, the logic of positivity.
Logical. It's very logical.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, life is better on positivity because I have been a cranky, you know what, and it's not as fun. Some people enjoy being cranky. But seriously, positivity is better because I've lived both. I was
And
cranky this morning.
you were? I thought you were pretty good this. Oh, yeah, because my alarm went off. I like my alarms a little bit earlier than Angela does.
No, I like to get up early, but I also like to stay up late, and then therein lies the problem. There's the conundrum.
Yeah,
Late, early.
I'm like, if you wake up early every single day and you go to bed late, eventually the next day you're going to have to go to bed on time because you're going to be tired.
And then you're living on negativity.
And it doesn't always work.
Tell us, Dr. Russell, what is positivity?
Well, there's a lot of different thoughts on positivity. Some people would say positivity means you're just always happy or always go lucky. You just ignore the bad stuff.
You're always in a good mood. It can be.
You don't see the bad stuff.
I've heard the word toxic positivity, which is absolutely a thing. Yeah, ignoring your problems.
So, what I had started learning to do before I even started psychology or higher education is I would look at a challenge or a problem in my life and I would try to say, what can I learn from this? What am I getting from it? What experience am I gaining? So that's why, for me, I try to look at what's not going well, the negative things, and then I say, okay, what am I getting from this that's positive? And that's how I find the positives. That's why, I was thinking the other day, up till about 2004, I always had the biggest smile on my face. I'd run around my junior college, 2-year college. I was there for 3 years. And people I'd find out would comment, like, who's that guy? He's always happy, always smiling. And I was, because I knew I was going to be healed or cured. I have muscular dystrophy soon. I'd be able to get married. And I was being positive because that's all going to happen for me. I just knew it. And then it didn't happen like I thought it would. The friends I had made moved away. And really, from about 2005, off quite often, I wasn't as happy as I used to be.
But did you still put that forth in public? Did anyone know?
No, I didn't let. Only my mom. One day she said, "Your eyes are different. You're just not like you used to be." And at that time, I think it was about 2008. I'd finished my master's degree, but I didn't wasn't really going anywhere, and I think I'd stopped my job at the school where I worked as a job coach because I kept getting sick all the time. And
Because you were, what was
well,
it
I
like
just had C. diff.
when you weren't cured? When did you come to realize I'm not going to be cured? I'm going to live my life with muscular dystrophy. I'm going to lose function of most of my function. And that must have been, you had to grieve, you had to accept that.
Well, when I started a master's degree in 2004, I looked and it said if you get student loans, if you die, your parents don't have to pay them. And that's why I did it. Because I thought, I have muscular dystrophy now.
If you get that degree
2006,
or work towards that degree, your college loan will be wiped out if you die.
Well, I didn't know that I would finish. It's just what I kind of decided. So That's what I learned, that you can't just hope for the future and think it's going to be there and all hunky dory and live on that. You have to face where you are at the moment
Your current reality.
and know things can get better. I think, about 2013, after 5 years of just getting kind of stuck feeling, and
Yeah.
I started going out again and trying to do things, and
Living life.
yeah, I started working on a PhD and give me something to do. And like, if I hadn't gotten into that when my parents passed, what I would have done, I would have been, because that was pretty rough. And I find now I realize that I smile like I used to.
Wow.
I'm happy like I used to. And the big thing was, I wanted to be married 20 years ago, but
I was busy.
yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen till now. But I think whether you believe in God, religion, the force, positivity, the law of attraction, whatever, if you do good, you keep moving forward, keep trying, good things come to you. And maybe not always the way you want them to. I mean, I certainly didn't expect to get ahead the way I wanted to, but glad she's here. And I think this ties in. I mean, this is how we grow. It's
For me, positivity is definitely mindset. It can be mind games you play with yourself. I mean, my son also has muscular dystrophy. We've talked about Xavier before, and as a mother to hear that, and then you look on the internet and they're like, he was 8 years old at the time, and basically he had 11 years left. He would never be an adult or married or all the things. So it was really devastating. And for about 2 years, I was sad too. And then I just decided we're going to live our lives. We're not going to live like live like you're dying. So we're going to live because we weren't going to spend whatever time he had crying about it. So Xavier got out of school. We started doing road trips, and he is a big Star Wars guy, so he's also highly uh he has a lot of social anxiety. But what the positivity he used, he we went to the toy museum which had a big Star Wars display. It's out there right now.
yeah,
It's original toys from the 70s and 80s.
yeah, 78 to 85. Every single kid or Star Wars toy ever made.
The ones we had growing up. But he wanted to see those toys and he didn't think about there would be other people there. And after we saw the toys, it was like the reception time and it was really crowded and packed and he really wanted to go.
Even
I wanted to go
I wanted to
too.
go too.
It was
I was
crowded.
like, oh man.
But he kept his eye on what he wanted to get, not the obstacles that would usually keep him from going out in public. He focused on the positive, which is getting to see all these cool action figures.
Yeah.
They weren't toys, they were action figures.
Yes, exactly. They had some ships and
You got to show some little
stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm going to
put
show
them in the video.
the pictures in the video after this. I was going to make it all cool.
Who's that guy with the black helmet like that? He's like a bad guy. He's
the Death Star.
That's who Alex would make me be. He didn't want to be that. My brother.
The Death Star?
Like, here, you be that guy.
What the heck?
He had to be all the good guys, the cool guys. I don't know where
the roles
was. Yeah, isn't that funny? No, but my point is when you focus on what you want, like I said, it's a mind game you play with yourself. We can be positive or negative and sad and wallow, which we've all done. We've all had our pity party. But you know what? You can just suck it up and use the force. The force will get me through. You can call it whatever you want, but I think that's why people love Star Wars so hard. They want to use the force for whatever in life you want to accomplish.
Yeah, and one thing you learn about if you really study Star Wars, you read a lot of Star Wars stuff. Different people use the force in different ways. Some people use the force to heal people.
Use it with the dark side of the force. Who's the guy with the cape and he's like doing that all the time? The guy that Anakin's master who
Yeah,
brought him to the dark side. Does he have a name?
Palpatine.
Yes,
Darth
he wanted to
Sidious.
teach. Yes, he wanted to teach Darth Anakin about the dark side of the Force. So really, your attitude can be used for good or for evil. So you can choose positivity or you can choose the dark side.
Yeah, and the world and you are going to be a lot happier place if you use it for good things and positivity.
Absolutely.
And I'll say, while we're on this Star Wars Jedi thing, I had adopted this thing because I started getting all kinds of anxiety when things weren't going the way I wanted
Really?
to.
You?
Well, not exactly anxiety. I would get itchy all over my head and shoulders and chest,
Yeah, that's stress.
just uncontrollable because
Mm.
it's partly when I'm like, I was supposed to be getting better and things were getting worse.
Like if your life was getting better or your
My
physically disease
physically, I was
getting
supposed to
better.
be healed. I was
Right.
going to go on a mission for my church.
Yeah.
I never thought about doing anything after that. I hadn't thought about college ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just hit me. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. But when it first triggered, they had this brand new building they had just built.
The church building.
No, school. It's
Oh,
school.
okay.
And my dad, I always went the day before to see where my classes were and
Yeah.
check things
Get
out.
a
So
yeah.
my dad and I go there, and their handicap buttons are like at my head level.
Donk.
I was in a shorter chair, and I couldn't get to him. I couldn't touch him. It just hit me hard. So what I started doing is I would like expect the worst and be prepared for the worst. And I was never surprised, but I eventually turned that to expect the best, but be prepared for
Be
anything.
prepared for anything.
And we made a call. The counselors had people there waiting at the doors, and had a guy in class help me up the elevator, and it all worked out. But can you imagine if I just decided I can't? I'm not doing this. I quit. At 20 years, 19 years old, 20 years old.
No, I can't. Would you have made it to 42 and a half?
I don't think so. I think part of everything is, and back then I always thought, well, I'm going to live to be like 90 or 100 because there's a lot of longevity in my family.
That's what I think.
And now I expect to live to 90 or 100, maybe 120. Um,
We're gonna
eh,
hire you a caregiver because I'll be too old
oh yeah,
to roll your old bones out of bed.
you'll be a little, yeah, maybe a little bit. I'll be able to take care of both of us. Just make sure you're a
Well,
Star Wars fan.
well, we could get Yoda. By then, there could be the Force. We could elevate you and move you to the bed just by the
Ooh,
Force.
yeah.
Yeah, you inventors out there, I need you to get to work on like a different sort of levitating, get him from the wheelchair to the bed.
Well, you saw that chair Yoda had, like it's all levitating.
Perfect.
Oh, and Lars
Perfect.
levitating.
Doesn't Grogu have a crib that sort of
Yeah, it's like the land
floats
speeder. Yeah,
alongside
yeah.
the Mandalorian?
See there,
Mando.
somebody get on that. I'm sure some of you are
If
already
it's been
working
on
on it.
TV, if it's been thought of, I know it's in the works. Somebody's got the plans. Let's
Just
go.
like Star
Chop
Trek, the
chop.
little tricorders on Captain Kirk. Now we've got smartphones.
We are positive you can do it. My kids watch the next generation with me, and I would explain to them this is crazy. There was no such thing as an iPad. There was no such thing as on screen because they look and they're like, what? It's life. But in 1989, that was not life.
Yeah.
And then it followed. So anything sci-fi that's been thought of and people are already going to build. It's very exciting.
So
That's why we love sci-fi.
yeah, I mean that is
We
one
want to
thing
see
we
what's
have
coming.
together.
Or the Frozen guy that woke up and he's like, "Where am I? You're on the Enterprise." Yeah.
Yeah, just think if I hadn't had this positive mindset,
Should freeze your head.
no thanks. Wait till I die first.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Not
I'm like,
today. Not today.
well, sure, we'll freeze yours and we can look at each other forever. Just wrap me well. I don't want to get freezer bird.
Yeah. Freezer burn. That'd
Well,
be a
that
pain.
I think I was thinking about talking about Star Wars philosophies, and that's kind of when I started building. A little bit after that, like I have a little forest glade that I developed that I could
I
go
thought it was a
to.
Glen.
A glen, glade, George. What's the difference? That's
I
it.
I told you because Xavier was having a serious hard time with muscular dystrophy before you came. He would say he wanted to do things to himself and no longer be here, and I was like, "What do I do?" And you had said, "This could be totally unrelated." You said you go to a Glen in your mind, and I was trying to teach him about mindset and positivity. And I know you're in a chair, but it's okay. You're still amazing. You're still gonna have a wonderful life. It's okay.
Yeah, it's always hard when you first really start losing stuff. It doesn't matter. It's like when somebody dies. It's a hard adjustment to what you always had, and poof, it's not there.
So when you are you saying part of you dies every time you? Because like people at church want to shake his hand, and I'm like, give him a fist bump
Yeah, then
because it can be awkward. I go to shake your hand, and like
they gotta like lean into me, my hands down here on my legs. Like I'm not touching down there, And I'm like, I don't want you touching down there.
fist
But
bump.
oh, I really appreciated it. After I've had a few people come up to me and say, "Hey, can I shake your hand?" And they come up to me, and they actually grab my hand with their other hand and help me get it their hand and shake. Like I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really appreciated that. So we've kind of gotten a little bit deep here in our Star Wars talk. Did you say that? And
We weren't really talking a lot about Star Wars, but like you say, there are a lot of philosophies in the movies, in the Star Wars universe that we can draw on in boring from long ago and far away. Where is it?
like
Far, far
in the galaxy
away.
far, far
Right
away.
here. We can use the Force.
Well, one thing um, I always think this when Yoda tells Luke, he's like, your mind is too much in the future or too much in the past.
Mm.
I don't. I feel like I need to be in the present more. And it's important to be in the present because, like I said, after high school, I was like living in this future that I had built, not in the present.
Well,
So
and a lot of us do this. We live in the past. We regret, I should have done this. I should have done this. Or we live in the future. Well, when I do this, life is going to be, we have to be like Yoda and say, we are here. We are today. I try to get through the day. You always have big 5 year plans and goals. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get through the day. So,
yeah.
however you can.
See, that's the thing about 5 year goals. A lot of people, you say a 5 year goal, they're like, like I don't expect something in 5 years to happen tomorrow. It's going to take a lot of work to get there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a plan.
But I will say in 2024, I actually achieved my 5 year plan just differently than I expected.
It's kind of mind blowing. Why don't you share what happened? Because you realized it. You didn't say, yes, now I have achieved my plan. You realize, wait a minute, I thought about this 5 years ago, and this is something I
Yeah,
wanted.
about October, November 2019, I went to Tucson in Arizona. And I've always had a big full size van that just had a lift in the back. So I'm like, I'm not going to use a minivan.
I never wanted a minivan,
Yeah.
but here we are.
So I went to this place and had this Chrysler, was it Town and Country back then? Went in this thing, I could just roll in, sit up in the front, and I started crying right up there in the front seat, looking out.
The tiny things we take for
Because
granted, and you're in the front seat crying
I
because
had,
it was so beautiful.
well, I hadn't done that in 15 years,
Yeah.
rode in the front of a vehicle.
Yeah.
And I decided then and there, I was always holding myself back because you're getting help from the government and stuff. They have all these financial, like you can't have more than $2,000 of assets, can't make too much money.
They have rules.
Yeah,
Yeah. You've got
and
to fit into the rules to get the government payout, which isn't much.
yeah, so I decided in
It's just
5
enough to
years,
keep you on the door.
I'm going to have a van that load in from the side, I can sit in the front. I didn't have my book published yet. I'm like, I'm gonna have a book. I'm gonna do some speaking and be independent and not need the government at all. Not all of it's completely happened yet, but I married Angela. I got the van. I've gotten to speak at places. I get to travel. I've gotten to so all the main important things. I got my 5-year plan, and the other things are on their way.
And why is this? Because you didn't succumb to the dark side.
Yeah, because I didn't quit. I didn't give up. Anger, fear, aggression, the dark side of things. But also, see that fear thing. Fear is what keeps all of us down. So we've got to always fight fear. You can't let it dominate us. Because once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny.
It's true. It's very true. You can't give in to just the tiniest bit. You can have your pity party, set the timer for 5 minutes, and be done with it. Do something about it. My dad was just like this. He'd be like, why are you going to cry? Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because worrying doesn't solve your problem. It's still going to be there.
So let's talk about a little bit about, since I kind of quoted Yoda there.
It was very good. It was a good Yoda there.
Oh, thank you.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. Do not. That or isn't actually there.
Well, I think it's on the T-shirt, but
okay,
that I have,
anyway,
that you have, that I wore.
Oh yeah.
Do or do not. There. You know what? It's do or do not. There is no try. I'll try. Okay. I'll try to get healthy. You gonna do it or aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Yoda should be everybody's favorite, one of everybody's favorite Star Wars characters.
Oh, I can't wait to watch A New Hope tonight. We watch a movie every night because my son is all about the movies. We have to go in order in the Marvel or the whatever. And because it's May 4th, we're taking a break from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Episode 1, 2, and 3 1 and 2 getting ready for the.
Yes, and so we went to see the Sith on Sith Day, which was the other day, not Sith Day. I found out today that that's a day. I didn't realize the 6th. Anyway.
Yeah, Revenge of the 6th.
Okay. But that doesn't mean May. Whereas May the 4th is May.
They created it because May the 4th, there's dark side fans out there.
Anyway, I bet you $1 this is still my favorite one, even though I haven't seen it in 20 years, maybe more. Well, let's think about this. Xavier's 17, so I probably saw it. We did watch through all of them a couple years back.
And we're watching
so I have seen it with him.
Unspecial version.
We're watching the original where the stormtrooper hits his head on the doorway and life is fabulous. Yeah. So I'm very excited to watch.
And Angela,
the wisdom of Yoda.
I gotta bring this up. That Star Trek outfit of yours. So I got my Star Wars. She likes Star Trek. Unfortunately, like Star Trek's like my second favorite. For her, Star Wars is like her second favorite, or third or fourth. But for today, we're going to say it's her second favorite.
It can be my favorite today.
Okay, good.
Somewhere in my dress.
But it's Captain Kirk's birthday. Star Trek will be my favorite. But let's talk about how having fun and liking something is can improve our wellness.
Well, I'm telling you, we were talking at that muscular dystrophy conference, and your doctor was there. Unbeknownst to us, his doctor shows up, and he's standing in the back. He's like a renowned cardiologist. He's known in the world of muscular dystrophy. He's standing back there, and he's laughing his butt off the whole time we're talking, and we're like, "Are we that funny?" And he got up after, and he's like, "I love your attitude. Your attitude is why you're here, 42 years old, when life expectancy for Duchenne is like 19, 20, 30, like 30 at the max. And here's you 42.
Yeah.
And I believe it's because you've lived life on positivity. You had amazing parents. You were very devout in your church. The Lord Jesus is with you. The force is with you. You live by a code. All these things. Hope and purpose. And you've never let yourself like crawl into a hole, even when you realize, wait a minute, I'm 18, I'm 19, 20. I'm not cured yet. When I had every intention of being cured as an adult. Well, here you are with Duchenne as an adult. You've lived more than double of what, dare I say, most muscular dystrophy kids live.
Yeah, and it really is not the years that are important. It's that she lived. Just living a
The
long life.
quality of life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quality of
for
life's
sure.
important.
You've had a lot of experiences. You've had a lot of fun. You've done a lot of things. That's what we in the community, if you're in the Duchenne community, you can totally relate. We're trying to live the life, not the diagnosis. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jake,
and one of the things
for that quote.
beyond just Star Wars, as many of you know, I'm an author. I wrote Rectify the Avenging Angel, and
Mm-hmm.
book two is about out, and I've got a lot of other projects going. Like I'm going to say, I'm starting a publishing company soon.
Yes, a publishing company because we want to hear your life
Yeah,
story
it's
and
going to
you
be
deserve to have it published. And we want to help you with that.
yeah, people with disabilities, family members, or even somebody like writing about a significant character with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
Going to have peer writing groups, coaching, and it'll have like a novel fiction side, and then a non like a nonfiction kind of biography, life story sides. And I'm also going to create a nonprofit. It's in the works that's going to be able to help people achieve that, help them afford to get things published. So that's what we're doing right now. And it's very important to me because I always had these stories and ideas that I wanted to write. First time is somewhere in high school, and I never did. I But I kept them all in my head. I had dreams. In 2017, I'm like, I'm going to start writing. So I've got something I started. Then it got to about 60,000 pages, and then just like George Lucas, with Star Wars, I'm like, this is too soon for this. So I came up like I prayed for something else to kind of write shorter, get me to it, and I had a dream, and it was rectify. So that's where I'm at. So I got this other thing. Anyway, I'm building something really big, but just getting that out there and expressing myself, I realized I'm an artist.
You are. You're
Was
very creative.
just really good, and I want to help other people find that too. A lot of people. I would have started earlier if I'd had a coach or somebody to kind of help me know what to do.
Coaching is important. Having a ally, accountability partner, a cheerleader, someone who supports you, believes in you,
Yeah, so that
someone who gives you hope and purpose. We're here for it.
yeah, exercise your imagination, having fun is great for wellness.
It
Life.
really is. It really
So,
is.
all of you out there that have thought about being a video game designer, and then you find out that takes a lot of math. I mean, that's why I didn't do it. Like, that's too much math.
Really?
Write the story. Write the. That's what you could do. And
Write the story.
definitely, if you want to find out more, message me after this. And, I'll tell you when we get things launched. Anyway, so that's our exciting thing. I did have a Star Wars story written once. I had the idea for it, that Disney changed Star Wars, kind of ruined it. Anyway,
I have a Star Wars story.
you do.
Yes. So when you have a disability, sometimes you get little silver linings. When you have a disability, sometimes you get little what we call silver linings, little perks. I wouldn't sign up for a disability just to get that, but we got to go for free to the Comic-Con in Kansas City a couple years ago. And not only that, my son had a personal escort, a full-on Mandalorian and armorist. I have pictures.
Yeah, those are prequels to Ryan.
It was pre-Ryan. You would have loved it. So we're going through this Comic-Con. We're having a great time. We're meeting Ralph Macchio, taking pictures with him. And then, like all kinds of people were obviously dressed up. If you're a Star Wars Comic-Con type, you know what's happening. We saw Stan Lee. We saw these really tall, like Transformers. I don't know if they were Transformers or not. And then we saw, I'm like, oh, the bots. And the Mandalorian was like, oh, they're droids.
Yeah,
He yelled
oh,
at me so loud.
really? That's funny.
I'm glad you weren't there. You would have been horrified.
I mean, it's like, I don't know her. Huh?
Who is she? It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So
And yeah, Ralph Macchio, because Ralph Macchio in Star Wars, I mean,
it was good times. The Ghostbuster car was there.
yeah, you know what? We need Ralph Macchio to be in a Star Wars something.
Yes,
You know, he was
Ralph
like a
used the
Jedi or
Force.
something.
Truly amazing. He should
Okay,
be a master somewhere, and Luke comes upon him, and they're bros, and they're like teaching the next one to
yeah,
come up.
something like so. Disney, George, John Favreau,
John Favreau.
Dave Filoni. You know, if you're watching this, which I know you probably are,
They are.
Ralph, let's get you in some Star Wars stuff, man.
You know what I asked him? I said, "Hey, Ralph, what was your favorite movie you've been in?" And he said The Outsiders. I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. That probably would be." I wish I'd asked him if he could really do karate and like kick Johnny's butt. He probably gets asked that all anyway. Can he do karate? Do we know? Is he a black belt?
I think I saw him talking to the Cobra Kai or something that he's learned some. He's not like, I mean, surely he did, right?
Do you think it's weird? Like, okay, like that 5 minutes and photo, I will remember every iota for the rest of my life. Ralph Macchio, you know, he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Is that weird? Because then we see him on TV and it's like, oh, it's my buddy Ralph, and he does not know our name or fit. Like,
It's only weird.
some humans put other humans here, and then
It's
us
only weird.
lovely ones are forgotten about and whatever.
Yeah, it'll only be weird if you like. I don't remember our wedding. I'm like, if you forget that, but you remember Ralph, I'm gonna be like, of course it's not with you.
Someone could be listening to. Well, you know what? We went to the thing, and that lady came up to you and said, "You don't know me, but I know you."
Yeah, that was interesting. She knew my name. I'm like,
But I was the same way when I was looking for you at that conference. Because here's Dr. Russell, Dr. Life on Positivity, 40-year-old guy with Duchenne. This guy's going to help my son. I was looking for you, and I found you, and that's why I was so excited. I was like, hey! You didn't know. Well, you did know me, but it would have. But that's only because I had messaged you on Facebook before. Like, I'd reached out. I'd been in your space on the Zoom. You saw me on the screen, but
I did.
I was looking for you.
And when I saw you on the screen, the Force Whisper, like, that's who you were looking for. I'm like, yeah, right, man. Shut
Force
up.
was with me.
Yeah, it was. You went to Dallas.
Yeah.
There we were.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come you didn't wear your Star Trek shirt?
I was actually trying to find a Princess Leia wedding dress, and I kept seeing a picture of a green dress. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to wear green to the wedding.
Yeah, you could have worn her white dress with a Death Star. Or her...
The Jabba the Hutt bikini.
Yeah, the outfit. No. Yeah, that would have been great. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my favorite character shirt. You can't see it, but oh, there you go. Luke Skywalker. That's my favorite character. And I'm just going to say, if somehow you haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, you need to watch that. Or try to have it turn too much. And that's all I'm going to say. No, yet. Say, because.
Why? We watched.
Skywalker's like my favorite character.
We watched season 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3.
Well, you saw that. You know what I'm talking about with Luke.
Yeah, Luke's everywhere with the black robe, and he's old now.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not. Oh, they're talking about those Star Wars Disney. The Disney Star Wars movies, 7 and 8. I'm talking about the Mandalorian.
I think I was talking about that too. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Not old in it. He's young.
What? Okay, I'm not a Star Wars knower.
I'm gonna have to teach you the ways of the.
I'm not a fan of Low. I'm just here for the ride. Although, at my funeral, make sure I look as good as with the curly hair, looking gorge, going down the street for the parade. May I be that gorgeous a cadaver, please. Amen.
Okay, I will. We'll get a wig and a Natalie Portman mask.
Perhaps. I mean, it's pretty long.
Yeah, but like, what's it going to be like in 50 to 60 years when you die?
Long in one color, not
Okay,
two
yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dye it. I
Well,
can't do
I
it.
mean, look at my beard. I got like 3 colors.
Men look good though, salt and pepper.
I don't think so. They don't think that.
We all think that. We talk. Okay, pro tip. You guys, if you start to go gray, there's this thing on the market called Just for Men. No. No. Don't touch it. Put it down. No. Age, embrace. Don't try to be something else. Because one time I had this boss named David and he had all white hair, white goatee, and he came in one time with like a pinkish, brownish, sort of reddish goatee. It was not. It was not.
Just for men that
It's just for nobody, to be honest.
So all right, I keep threatening to try some real game, but she's like, I don't
No,
need it.
why? No. We put a wig on you.
I'll be like Captain Kirk or James Bond.
I can't believe he wears a wig. In the original Star Trek, he's wearing a wig.
I don't know that it's like a wig or just something to kind of fill in areas. Like
Maybe he wanted to, because he had Klingons and Mr. Spock, and everyone had all their decked out situation. Like, he wanted to be, like, have the fun too. Play dress up. Put a wig on me. Because I'm going to be an Earthling.
And he also apparently wore like a girdle.
And they wear lifts in their shoes. A lot of these actor men are short and they wear the platforms. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but to defend my other, like, I gotta mention the other bald actors: Sean Connery, James Bond,
Sir Patrick Stewart.
He wore a toupee. John Wayne, yep, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart wore one when he did a Shakespeare thing. He looked hilarious. He looks much better and distinguished with his natural hair or non-hair.
Yeah. All right, so I won't try it. It's just this glare. I need to like get some anti-glare stuff. So anyway, the important thing is, so let's give a little health tip related to this. I think the big thing you kind of made me think of is embrace who you are and where your state you're at. You don't need to color your hair to.
Right, you please don't. As you see, I'm stopping. I've stopped, and I wish I'd done it a long time ago, but here we are. Because I don't want any more chemicals on my head. I'm trying to be natural. But I might add some chemicals to blend this all in, and then no more chemicals. It's like when you are a drug addict and you want one more hit. That's a bad idea.
Well, they give
don't do it.
Drug addicts methadone, which is kind of not.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, if you want to be cool,
just
stay
say no.
Cool.
That's right. Stop the madness.
Yeah, fried egg. That's your brain on drugs. So
Stop the madness. But back to balance, energy, and stress. We got dark side in all of us, and we also have the force. You have to decide which one you're going to promote within oneself. Don't go dark side.
Yeah, this whole gray Jedi thing, that's just...
What?
Oh, there's this idea that they're trying to make like gray Jedi. Luke was trying to say, don't be like one way or the other so much, but gray in the middle doesn't work. You have to make a choice.
That's true. That's true. And I'm just saying, we're human beings full of emotions. You have positive, you have negative. And
yeah, so
we have found it's better to get through life on positivity.
Yeah, you have to choose. Which one you want? Positive's a lot better than being negative all the time. So, Angela, can you kind of give us a recap of what we talked about today?
Yes. Star Wars is cool. Star Trek is extra cool. Don't tell them I said that. And living life on positivity is better than negativity.
Yeah,
and it's all in your mind.
Positivity is the best positivity. Positivity? Okay, maybe it doesn't work.
Hope and purpose.
Hope and purpose.
If you have purpose, you can have hope. And if you have hope, you'll have a purpose.
All right, so everybody, before we go, I just want to say again, Happy Star Wars Day. May the fourth or force or positivity be with you.
Be with you.
And even you you Trekkies out there, you know, George Lucas liked Star Trek. He kind of started the movies because of Gene Roddenberry. That's Gene Roddenberry is one of his heroes. So it's like we're all together on this. You know, we all love sci-fi. We can all get along.
We can all boldly go. Join us next time for Life on Positivity.
All right, bye.